Hey, I don't know if you've heard the good news or not, so let me share this with you. If your school is having problems with academic pursuits, there's a really, really simple answer. And that answer is you just throw more money at the problem. Now, recently it came out that 77% of students at a public high school in Baltimore are reading at the elementary or kindergarten level. Yeah, you heard me right. You heard me right. I want to make sure you absorb what I'm saying, so let me repeat the four words that matter most in that sentence. High school, elementary, kindergarten. High school students in this setting, in effect, can't read. They can't read. 77% of them. Now, this particular high school, Patterson High School, go Clipperships, has over 1,000 students and claims to be the most diverse high school in Baltimore City. They have a $12 million annual budget, no doubt much of which goes to facilitating after-lunch yoga classes, I'm sure. I wish I was kidding. Now, on its face, this is a sad story. Standardized testing, the extreme bureaucratization of just about every facet of the public school system, and serious mismanagement of both funding and time are probably just a few of the catastrophic issues both caused and faced by this school. And they're not alone. It recently came to light that all through the state of Maryland, taxpayer money is going to not only pay for students in attendance, but also the, quote, ghost students, or kids who actually don't even come to school. Baltimore City schools have a one-fail policy, which sounds great until you realize that it means once a kid has failed school once, they just get pushed through the second time. And this policy, it's got to be getting used a lot, because just last year it was found that 4 out of every 10 high school students in Baltimore alone had a grade point average of 1.0 or below. There really is nothing quite like sticking your finger in a light socket to take care of a hangnail. So I come before you today, folks, once again, to do what I always do, and that is preach from the dizzying heights of my soapbox. The valley that lies between what we should do about the public education system in this country and what we can do about it, unfortunately, is very wide and very deep. God willing, that will change over time. I'm trying to change it. Now, if enough people get in on the ground level the way we've done in the past year about, say, like critical race theory, for example, if enough people get involved locally all the way up through the various branches of government, we might eventually be able to reform the public school system into something that in no way resembles the bad news behemoth wrought from our stupidity that rules today. I suspect that it would take a complete dismantling of the whole thing. Burn it to the ground! Not an overhaul, but a complete rebuild. But in the meantime, what about our kids? You know my answer. Get them out of public school. Sure, maybe your kid isn't going to Patterson High School, and maybe he or she can read at a level higher than Dick and Jane Primer, but that doesn't mean where they're at is good, folks. They're not in a good place. It just means that it's not as suboptimal, and that's no way to run a railroad, especially when you're talking about something as important as your child's education. The truth of the matter is we need to see examples like this school. The American public doesn't do anything en masse until it gets pissed off enough, so you've really got to rub their faces in it. But you, on an individual level, don't have to allow your kids to be a part of this shit show. Get them out. Put them in private school or a charter school, co-op, homeschool them if you can. It might mean sacrifice for you now, but the reward is unmistakable. At the very least, they'll be able to fill out a damn job application.